Everybody. I've got a Jane Austen journal here. I'm going to give Fiona first shot at it. She had asked for a Jane Austen, but it was in hardcover, and somehow when I went to go put it together, I goofed with the cover. The cover was too small, so I put it in fabric. So you get first shot at it, Fiona. If you'd rather have the hardcover, I'll be glad to do that for you. Just let me know. So let's measure. Let's measure. It is 9 by 6, so it's a healthy size. It's got some lace here, and I used, it's just delightful linen. There's the spine. And I just left the plain back because that fabric is so yummy, and I sewed around the edges, and look what happened. Isn't that cool? Love it. Love it. Okay, let's go inside. I used a pink lace closure, and there's some pink here because it goes with the inside stitching that I did. And let's see, let me get situated. All right. Over here, I've got some charms, some pink beads, and a rose, a piece of filigree, and I made the pocket out of part of a napkin. And it's got some really pretty pink lace, and I used the linen on the inside, and I just left all the little threads on it. You know, I like doing that. And on the inside, I put one of these vintage frames that I put on a book page and sewed around it. And some coffee-dyed paper with the duck cloth and part of a doily. And then I stamped on this one on fabric, and put another piece of fabric behind it and put it on paper. So, and tore the edges, inked them up. And then the first page is lined page, and it's got an image of a handsome gentleman. And this is some sewing pattern paper, and I put a piece of lace over it. I love the contrast to that. And then a vintage Jane Austen lady. And this says Luca. Luca. My friend's grandson's name is Luca. It says Lucas. I am not a romantic, you know. I never was. I only ask for a comfortable home. Poor thing. She picked Mr. Collins. Oh, here's a ruffle. I used these flowers throughout. I know Fiona likes pink, so I did a lot of pinks in here. There's a parasol with the lace from the other side. The infamous, "You must allow me to tell you how I ardently admire and love you." And there's a vintage image there. Some lace. And over here I did a little flip up. I did some stitching down the edge, and it's got a doily tab and some pink flowers and just pink, pink, pink. Stitched around in pink. I'm going to take this paper clip off because it holds this down. And that just lifts up for journaling. Made this out of a real pretty tablecloth. Not a tablecloth, a placemat that I just love. That I got in an estate sale. And I just love how it sews up. It's just so pretty. And on this side, the stitching, of course, comes through. We've got a pocket here with a little bow and sari silk and some lace. And this is also a pocket, a hidden pocket behind there. And I put some cards in there. That's some blue toile and part of a doily. I used some of these, that ephemera that I got from that book that I showed in a previous video. Because it's from 1875, I think, to 1903, something like that. So it wasn't quite in the time period. It was a little bit after, but I thought they were really pretty. Wickham, you know, he's my boy. Because he's a bad boy. He says he lies with skill, especially by omission, taking care not to mention his own faults. Who did he ended up marrying Lydia, didn't he, I think. Did several collages throughout the book. There's the sari silk that peeps over from the other side. Lots of places to write or make notes or whatever you like. Collins. That's the one I love. Lady Catherine will not think the worse of you for being simply dressed. She likes to have the distinction of rank preserved. He was such a schmoozer. I stitched around the page here. Another collage with that pretty fabric flower. I don't know if you remember, Fiona, but I'd sent you some, when I wrapped your journal that we did the trade on, I wrapped it in fabric. And this is one of the things you can do with it. You can also make cards out of it. Just cut out your flowers. It's really pretty done that way. And here's on a poetry page, I just put a real pretty image with some pink fabric behind it. And the same on this side. These are just pretty pages to look at. Another collage here with a lady and a flower and a bunch of laces and of course the stitching. And that's a piece of sari silk. Bingley. Yes, and her petticoat. I hope you saw her petticoat. 6 inches deep, I'm sure. I am absolutely certain. Oh, 6 inches deep in mud. I am absolutely certain. She did that on purpose, you know. When she came across that fence, she just jumped in that mud because she knew it would tick them off. Gotta love it. Over here, I put a couple dancing because it was very popular then. And then here's a little dance ticket with an envelope, and this does come out. It's got a key, and it opens up. It's a little mini envelope. But I love the dance ticket. I thought that was very appropriate. And behind it, I put some really pretty cards for journaling. I just kept sewing across that and sewing across that to make that thick. So I thought those were real pretty. And over here, I've got a lace pocket, kind of makes it sheer. Let me pull these out so you can see. Some sari silk here with the matching flowers throughout the book and the matching flower fabric. And a lady here and a stamped book image, and it faintly says, you can see the J and the A, it says Jane Austen. And then we've got a music card here. And of course the snippets, because everybody needs the snippets. Love those. Put that in there. You get over there. Seems to want to flip up. Well, you just do your thing. And then over here, we've got a little, you wouldn't call it a booklet because it has cards in it, but it's been script stamped. It's got one of the ladies there and some flowers with some sparkly tulle. And on the inside, it's got music pockets that has some cards for journaling. And over here, you can use these for anything. You know, if you need to write somebody a quick note, you know, for a present, it makes really a cute little add-on to something, a gift you may be wanting to give someone, just write notes to someone. These things are great to use up. Okay, now we can see everything. I'm happy there. Over here, I used some lace and one of those ladies' images, and I put a seam binding coffee dyed bow. And then over here, I did all lace pockets in here, I think, or tried to. Put a lady here on it. Let me get this out of here so you can see. And the matching flower. And then I made 2 big cards with the Jane Austen ladies. This is, they are both on encyclopedia pages and have been stitched around, and then have writing space on the back. Over here, real pretty strip of trim that I had in my stash, and of course the ladies in the flower, and then I put a little matching flower up there. Over here, I did a fabric pocket, and it's a little place to journal. It's very faint lines, and I put a real pretty damask and sewed around and around in the pink there. And then it has a postcard on a encyclopedia page. And I know this doesn't have anything to do with Jane Austen, Fiona, but I put a recipe of a Mississippi mud cake that is so good. You may want to try. It's just delicious. And then, of course, you can add your notes on the back. But I figured you might need some Louisiana recipes. Bennett. A single man of a large fortune. What a fine thing for our girls. Can't you see Mr. Bennett just rolling his eyes? Real pretty stitching here. Part of a crochet doily and part of a curtain. Again, pretty page for pretties. Another collage here with the books. A pretty image there. And the hero of the day, Mr. Darcy. My affections and wishes remain are unchanged, but one word from you will silence me on this subject forever. Over here is part of a lace piece with a ruffle and the pink, the same fabric that I've used throughout the book with the lady. And over here is a pocket that's some sari silk up there, and a pink pocket with just a collage of different things, part of a crochet doily, the ruffle with the matching flowers, and then I put some cards inside. And this is a muslin wrap. And this is a tag that I made, the original tag. And a postcard. You gotta have a postcard. Oop, fumble fingers. There you go. And then something else to journal on here. I won't make y'all watch me tie that up. And a real pretty, pretty pocket. De Berg. I take no leave of you, Miss Bennet, and I send no compliments to your mother. You deserve no such attention. I am most seriously displeased. Cracks me up. Over here's another flower with a lady, and I put some of the pink fabric behind it and stitched around it, and then stitched down the page. Another collage here with the lace and the flower. Another ruffle. Over here, I went belly band crazy, so I had forgotten. I sewed this in. I wanted kind of that to show on both sides, but if you hold it like that, it does. But I put a belly band here with a flower and the lady there, and then part of a doily on a tab that holds this card in place, and that's a stamp that I have, and I put it on some fabric with some duck fabric behind it and just stitched around it. Gardner. There is something a little stately in him, to be sure. She was being charmed by Mr. Darcy's charms. This is a lace, again, a lace. I wanted them to match, coordinate together with the vintage lady and the flowers. And then I put a little butterfly with those flowers that are throughout the book. And then I put one of these frames in here, one of these vintage looking frames. These make great journaling cards. And on the back, the pocket matches the front pocket. And it's got some charms too. Some filigree, a little leaf, a pearl, and a clasp holding a ring. And then in this one, I put a lot of different coffee dyed papers because they're so pretty. Look how cute that is. So cute. Cute, cute, cute. And then I put, this is from that ephemera book. It's the original ephemera. And I put it on some muslin and stitched around it. And then that's some seam binding up there. Big card to journal on. And here's another Louisiana recipe for you, Fiona. New Orleans pecan pie. If you don't try any of them, well, the Mississippi Mud's pretty good too. They're all good. Try them. Let me know how you like them. And then you can make notes back here. I'll set that off to the side. So it's got a lot of pretties going on and pink. And I love pink and brown together. I just think it's a really pretty combination. It's got this delightful linen cover to it. It's a nice size. It's soft. There's the spine and the front. I want to thank y'all for being here with me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.